very much for opening up this video. I really do appreciate it. Now, today is Monday, the 15th of May 2023, and it's just gone 20 past 11 when I was using this video. Now, just to prove that, I can just tell you that Liverpool have just beaten Leicester City 3-0. So this video is actually done, it's not a recording, it's live. Now, the thing here is, many of you are worried about the decision of the Bank of England last week to raise interest rates. Today, I'm going to detail why the Bank of England had to do this. I'm also going to detail 4 things that you can do today to help beat that. Now, the thing is, if you follow my videos, you'll find that every day I give you something for free to help you with your health, wealth, finances, fitness and fat loss. So please make sure you follow my videos and please do comment below. Right, so without further ado, I'm going to start off with why they had to raise the interest rates, and then I'll detail the 4 things that you can do to help stop this. Let me explain. Let's go back to December 2019 at the time of the general election. Boris Johnson had been elected with a massive Conservative majority, and fair play to him for doing that. Now, what actually happened was, between December 2019 and March 2021, the pound was rising against the dollar, which is a good sign. Now, during that time, they brought down government borrowing to record low levels, and government borrowing has a tremendous effect on inflation, interest rates, and everything. The lower the government borrowing, the better. On top of that, our trade deficit was actually falling, and our budget deficit was falling. Had it not been for COVID, which occurred in March 2021, what would have happened, and we went forward 10 years, we would have ended up with a trade surplus and a budget surplus. Now, the thing here is a trade surplus is coming, but largely because of Brexit. That trade surplus is basically where we actually export more than we import, and that's a really good sign. Okay, so that is coming, and you can thank Brexit for that. It's because we can negotiate our own trade deals, so thank Brexit for that. So well done, Nigel Farage. Okay, unfortunately, in March 2021, COVID came, and what then happened was, through the goodness of their hearts, they actually had to furlough everybody. So that basically they had to give you 80% of your salaries. They had to help you with companies with 80% of their income, and that caused, unfortunately, a huge rise in government borrowing. Okay, it was very unfortunate. They couldn't do anything about it. What then happened between March 2021 and September 2022 was basically a fall in the pound against the dollar. Now, after Boris Johnson got deposed, what then happened was the pound plummeted even further. Okay, and unfortunately, in September 22, it reached what's known as near enough parity, where £1 equaled $1. Just before COVID, a pound was worth $1.42. By the time of the mini budget, the pound was worth $1.02. So that was not good at all. That's why, and given that oil and petroleum and gasoline are bought in dollars, that's why it's becoming more expensive. That's why it's hitting you more in the pocket. Okay, so what then happened was, in the week of the mini budget, the Bank of England raised interest rates. Now, and on top of that, obviously, as we know, in March 2022, the war in Ukraine came along, and that sent oil prices rocketing. I forgot to mention that, but I do apologise for that. Now, what then happened was, when the Bank of England raised interest rates, they opened the door for Kwasi Kwarteng, the Chancellor at the time, to make an economic recovery. And fair play to him, he did a couple of things. When he considered the pound was at such a low level, it meant that investors from abroad could put more money into the UK and get more for their buck. Then Kwasi Kwarteng did a couple of things to make that happen a bit more. Number one, what he did was he released the restriction on bankers' bonuses, and traders like me started to really go for it. Interest rates rose, and what actually happened was, when they raised interest rates, foreign investors came along more and more and put more money into the UK. So you had 3 things in their favour. The pound was weak, interest rates had risen, and they removed bankers' bonuses. So what happened was the pound started to rise against the dollar. What they could have actually lowered corporation tax on foreign investment, but that would have been politically unthinkable. It would have been great for the economy, but politically, it'd have been unthinkable. So what then happened was the pound started rising against the dollar. This is where it gets interesting. A rise of 1 pence, 1 cent a day, pound against a dollar, 1 cent a day, a week is great. Unfortunately, after the mini budget, it was rising by 1 cent a day, 7 times higher than 7 times faster than what you'd expect. And that wasn't good because basically, if the pound gets too strong against the dollar, then basically foreign people can't afford our items. But it was growing too quickly. There was a bit of a blip on October the 5th when non-farm payroll day came in, and basically the pound dipped a little bit, but overall it was rising. Unfortunately, something then happened. On Friday, the October the 14th, 2022, the Japanese yen collapsed against the seven major currencies, and basically the pound rocketed. If left unchecked, because of that, basically the UK and all the world's economies could have been led into a recession that would make the Wall Street crash basically seem like a walk in the park. So Jeremy Hunt, the new chancellor, had no choice but to stop the mini budget. It was working too well. He had to slow down the rate of growth. Since then, the pound has been rising against the dollar by 1 cent a week. A safe, slow, steady growth. Government borrowing has been cut. Okay, it's been brought down, and inflation is coming under control. Okay, that's why they had to do it. Now, it would have been nicer if they would have cut corporation tax for foreign investment, but that would be politically unthinkable. Those people on the left of the political spectrum would have gone up in arms about that. That's why they've done it. So when people talk about the reverse of the mini budget and all that, no, they had to do that. So now I'm going to tell you the four things that you can do, because I know that's what you're looking for, on how we can actually um, beat the rise in interest rates. Number one, this is very important. I'd like you to write a letter to your credit card company, any store cards you got, any people do your car loan, and your mortgage provider. Write to them and ask for the sort code, account number, and reference number to set up a daily standing order. So let's say, for example, that you are paying £300 a month on your mortgage. Interest is calculated daily. So you want to set up a daily standing order of £10. You're paying the same amount of money, but you're doing it in 30 installments. By doing that, you're paying a hell of a lot less interest, and on average, you pay off your mortgage some 1/5 sooner. So let's say you had a 20-year mortgage, 1/5 you're paying it 4 years sooner, saving yourself a considerable amount of interest. Not many people know that. The same with credit cards, store cards, and car loans. Okay, try to avoid credit when you can. The second thing I'd like you to do is I would like you to set up a side hustle. Okay, a secondary stream of income. And what I'd like to do for that is go on YouTube and look for a video from Robert Kiyosaki called The Business of the 21st Century. Have a look at it and then get back to me, and I'll put you in touch with people who can put you in touch with a good side hustle. But make sure you watch that video first. Okay, I'll put a link below. The third thing I'd like you to do, I'd like you to consider the case of one of my Jewish students. My main focus is that I live stream fitness classes across the internet. Now, what actually happens is I've got clients from all over the country, and one of my clients is a Jewish lady. I can't reveal where she is because of confidentiality reasons. But when I went to her wedding, something amazed me at the wedding reception. Her dress and those of the bridesmaids all come from a Jewish bridal shop. The groom and the suits for the best man the best man and his party all came from a Jewish tailor. Her husband was a property mogul with 200 properties. All his tenants are Jewish families or students. You can see a pattern developing here. All the presents for the wedding were bought from a Jewish shop. The hall was in the reception was in a hall owned by a Jewish person. Okay, the flowers came from a Jewish florist. The caterer was a Jewish caterer. You can see something happening here. I was introduced to the groom's solicitor, will writer, accountant, builder, gas engineer, plumber, roofer, decorator, joiner. You get the idea. They're all Jewish. I also met the insurance broker, and the insurance broker told me that all these people get their home contents, buildings, and car insurance through him. He's Jewish as well. You can see a pattern developing here. And I spoke to the rabbi, and he says this constant recycling of money in this community means that everyone is employed. What I'd like you to do is, whenever you can, buy British. If we all start buying British, we're recycling money in our own communities, okay? And it strengthens our economy. So please try, when you do your weekly food shopping, just try and buy one more item that's British. If we do that, that would be great. The next thing I'd like you to do is, wherever you can, please, 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 buy from a local trader and pay in cash. If you pay by card at one of the big supermarkets, it makes no odds to them because they pay a fixed fee for bank transactions no matter how many they get, and they get hundreds a week. Whereas you go to Joe Bloggs, your local corner shop or your bakery or whatever, every time you pay by card, you save them the bank charge of paying by card. They usually have to pay 2.4% plus 20 pence, and when it comes to their bank account, they've got to pay another 20 pence as well. You pay in cash, you can help them avoid that. So as I said, I've explained why they had to raise interest rates, and I've explained 4 things that you can do to beat the cost of living crisis. If we can all do those, we can reverse that cost of living crisis, and we can actually help the country get back on its feet. If you follow my videos, I always give you something every day to help you with your health, wealth, finances, fitness, and fat loss. Thank you very much for your time. I'll speak to you soon. Please put your comments below. Bye bye.